Today's lesson is lesson 5, improper fractions. You will see 4 squares here. Each of them have a number, representative number. Would you take a look at those, pause the video, and identify which of those are proper fractions? When we hear that word proper, what do we think? What do we know about proper fractions? Today's lesson is about improper fractions, so we need to first understand what a proper fraction is, then we can dive into what a not proper fraction is. All right, if you identified 1/4 as a proper fraction, excellent. I can have a whole divided into 4 parts, and if I have one of those, that's a fraction. Good job. 3/8, the same thing. I can have a pie divided into fourths. Oh, but if I then split each of those fourths, I'll have 8 parts. If I only have 3 of them, that's a portion of the whole, a fraction of the whole, so that also is a proper fraction. 5, oh, that's a great number. I love the number 5, but it's not a part of a whole. It's 5 wholes. You've got 1 whole pie, 2 whole pies, 3 whole pies, 4 whole pies, 5 whole pies. So this one is not a proper fraction. How about 4/4? Let's do our little pie chart again. There's my 4 parts. My denominator tells me I have 4 parts, and I have all 4 of them. So I guess the argument could be made that this is not a proper fraction, but actually it is. It's telling you that you have some. You just happen to have, it's actually equal to 1 whole. So we'd say, yeah, it looks like a fraction, but it's actually 1 whole. How about 4/3? Well, let's start by just drawing our pie again. Break it up into thirds. That's our clue. The bottom, the denominator, is how many parts the whole is broken up into. And I have 4 of them. Okay, here's 1/3, 2/3, 3/3. Uh-oh, now I have another third. Okay, I gotta do another whole. Divide it into thirds, and I'm gonna circle 1 of them. Let's count the thirds to make sure we have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, my picture shows me that I have 4 thirds. 4 of the 3, which doesn't sound right, does it? But it's really telling me I have 4 thirds. So this is the one that is not a proper fraction. We call this one an improper fraction. There is more than a whole there. So that is today's lesson. We will be focusing on looking at improper fractions. We also can say these are greater than 1. So now we're going to model. You guys will do this on your whiteboard, so you can make sure you are ready for that. You're going to model for me 3/4. Model 3/4 for me. And then I want you to model 5/4. So on your whiteboard, you'll do this with me. We're just going to make sure that we see the difference between a proper fraction and an improper. So I'm going to use a different model this time. I'm going to use a bar chart, or a bar here. I'm going to divide it into fourths, and I have 3 of those. So I'm going to highlight those. 1, 2, 3. Now I've represented my fraction 3/4. Let me do the same down here. I'm going to have the same unit bar divided into fourths. The whole is divided into fourths, and I have 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I need another whole because I'm not done yet. I have 1 more fourth to add, so I have to, whatever I do to one unit, I have to do to the other. So this one also has to be broken up into fourths, and I have 1 more of the fourths. Let me verify. 5/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I have 5/4. This one is actually 1 whole, isn't it? If I have 4 of the 4 parts, that's equal to 1. This last fourth is 1 of the fourths. So the important part today that you need to understand is that this is called improper, and it can be converted into a mixed fraction. So a mixed fraction means that we have a whole number, like one whole, and we have a fraction. So improper is shown as a fraction with the numerator being larger than the denominator, and I can show that as a mixed fraction. 4 of those fourths is 1 whole, plus 1 more of the fourths is 1/4. So 5/4 is equal to 1 1/4.